Now at 10, as the pandemic drags on, local health experts break down when a pandemic becomes an endemic. Plus, why tourism in Arkansas is seeing a big boost, even passing pre-pandemic numbers. And why a local man chose to recommit his love for his wife at Pittsburgh's small deli.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
We've been in the COVID pandemic for nearly 2 years, but signs increase that it will eventually transition to an endemic. This is KOAM News at 10. The word endemic has been appearing more lately as the CDC continues to alter guidance related to the COVID-19 pandemic. An endemic is a disease outbreak that's consistently present but limited to a particular region. Jessica Liberty with Freeman Health System in Joplin says hope is on the horizon.
There have been such huge strides in COVID treatments since the beginning of the pandemic, and it has improved patients' outcome remarkably. And I'm sure, even though we can't quantify it, has reduced our COVID-related deaths exponentially.
Liberty says COVID hospitalization numbers are down at Freeman, and she's hopeful that trend will continue as we move past the Omicron spike. A Missouri prosecutor will not charge a St. Louis Post-Dispatch journalist who exposed a state database flaw that allowed public access to thousands of teachers' Social Security numbers. Cole County Prosecutor Locke Thompson released a statement saying the issues at the heart of the investigation have been resolved through non-legal means. Republican Governor Mike Parson announced the investigation in October after a Post-Dispatch reporter informed the state of a significant data issue that left teachers' data vulnerable to public disclosure. The newspaper held off publishing a story about the flaw until the state fixed it. Kansas officials face 2 lawsuits over a Republican redistricting law. The lawsuits filed today challenge a map that costs the state's only Democrat in Congress some of the territory in her Kansas City area district that she carries by wide margins in elections. A team of attorneys filed a lawsuit in Wyandotte County District Court in the Kansas City area. The American Civil Liberties Union of Kansas filed another shortly afterward. The lawsuits argue that the map enacted last week is unacceptable because it splits Kansas City, Kansas, and decreases the number of minority voters in U.S. Representative Sharice David's district. Republicans reject those criticisms. Nice start to the work week, Doug Heddy.
Yeah, it turned out to be a great Valentine's Day for us today. Temperatures quite a bit warmer than what we saw as, we were in the past couple days. About 15 degrees warmer for us today. 58 started at 27. Normal high for this time of the year is about 50. We have pretty much clear skies. That's what we're going to see as we go through the overnight hours tonight. But our next storm system is brewing out across the Pacific Northwest. It's a very strong storm system that is going to plow toward us over the next couple days. Upper 30s to lower 40s. We're close to our overnight lows for us tonight. The winds have been out of the north throughout the day and now kind of slowly working their way off toward the south and to the east. And that's going to help us out as we go into tomorrow as we continue to warm up. About 40 in the morning, 66 during the afternoon. Thunderstorms, some strong, possibly severe. Freezing rain, sleet, and snow in the forecast. We're going to talk about that coming up.
See you then. Arkansas's tourism tax revenue from 2021 is up 50% compared to the pandemic numbers of 2020. Noah Tucker reports on why those are much higher than just a pandemic rebound.
Pandemic has far-reaching effects to many areas, one being travel. But when it comes to Arkansas tourism, it may surprise you.
People really started traveling again in July of 20, and then just have continued to grow really since that point.
The Arkansas Tourism Tracker keeps tabs on revenues from a 2% statewide tourism tax. And the 2021 numbers are through the roof, even compared to pre-pandemic numbers.
I think the biggest driving force behind that is we're an outdoor recreation tourism destination, and people can still socially distance.
We're sort of rediscovering Arkansas and rediscovering the Ozarks, where maybe in the past they might have traveled a wider range to maybe a or more showy destination.
With small-town tourist destinations like Eureka Springs gaining interest during the pandemic, Arkansas's tourist numbers may not come as a surprise, but even in places like here in Harrison saw a huge surge to their tax revenue in 2021.
Our numbers continue to grow every month, as you'll see when you look at our tax revenues within the city limits of Harrison.
Harrison relies heavily on outdoor attractions.
Even during the pandemic, we saw an uptick in some of those visitors going to the Buffalo National River or going to the lakes, going hiking. So, and it just continues to grow.
And with new additions from the likes of Johnny Morris, hopes our numbers will continue to climb.
There's no question what's going on Highway 7 South, just a few minutes away from Harrison, is going to be tremendous with what Johnny Morris and his company is doing down there. So that's just going to build on that momentum for our downtown and our community.
While numbers are still coming in from the end of 2021, projections show the tourism tax may gross over $20 million for the first time since it was created.
While Arkansas's tourism revenue is up, staffing is still an issue. Tourism job numbers are 8.3% below pre-pandemic levels. Today is Valentine's Day, and couples all across the 4 states are showing their love for one another. That includes these two, Jeremy and Debbie Johnson, who are celebrating 31 years of marriage this year. Jeremy wanted to do something special, so he took Debbie to their favorite restaurant, the Mall Deli in Pittsburgh's Meadowbrook Mall, wearing the same tuxedo he wore for their wedding. The Mall Deli is where Jeremy gave Debbie a promise ring back in 1990, and he gave her a new one today.
Just him getting down on one knee and recommitting and wanting to be together another 32 years, that broke my heart. It was just happy tears.
Wow, Jeremy and Debbie also sat in the same spot at Mall Deli where they did all those years ago. A shop in Joplin called Now and Zen hosted a Valentine's activity for couples to have their auras read. During the aura photo shoot, people had a photo taken of themselves, and a software program read the energy given off and translated it to colors. The photographer described what the colors mean.
Frequency in our world is either what we see, which is light wave frequency, or we hear, which is sound wave frequency. And light wave frequency is what creates color. So because each of these have their own frequency, they have their own color. Now, we have a lot of different chakras, these energy centers. It's not just those 7 that lay upon our spine, but those are the ones we're going to talk about.
Now and Zen is at 420 North Rangeline in Joplin. Coming up, the IRS says some tax returns are already on their way out to people. Plus, Ukraine and Russia continue negotiations to prevent an armed conflict. The IRS says Americans are already starting to receive their tax refunds. The federal agency released statistics showing it had received nearly 17 million returns as of February 4th. That's on top of the backlog of 2020 returns the IRS is busy working through. It says nearly 13 million tax returns have been processed. The average refund has been around $2,200. U.S. officials say Russia's military continues its troop buildup along Ukraine's borders. While Washington says Russia could move into Ukraine at a moment's notice, Western nations are still holding out hope for a diplomatic solution. Skylar Henry reports from Washington.
The U.S. is shuttering its embassy in Kyiv amid fears Russia could invade Ukraine at any time. All remaining staff are relocating to a city near the Polish border. At the same time, the White House says efforts to peacefully resolve the Ukraine crisis are ongoing.
We are actively working to reach a diplomatic solution to de-escalate the crisis.
In a meeting with Russian President Vladimir Putin, Russia's top diplomat, Sergei Lavrov, advised Putin to continue talks with the West.
Foreign Minister Lavrov seemed to indicate that he still thinks there's oxygen here for diplomacy. We would welcome a pursuit of that path.
We have taken note of his comments. What we have not taken note of is any indication of de-escalation.
President Biden spoke with British Prime Minister Boris Johnson about the Ukraine crisis on Monday. The White House says the two leaders addressed the need to be ready to impose, quote, severe consequences on Russia should it choose further military action.
We are on the edge of a precipice. What we can't do is trade away the sovereign rights of the Ukrainian people to aspire to NATO membership.
Putin's security demands from the West include agreeing that Ukraine will never be granted membership to the NATO alliance. Skylar Henry, CBS News, the White House.
The Pentagon says Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin will go to the NATO Defense Ministerial in Brussels this week and will visit Poland and Lithuania. The situation on the Ukrainian border is causing problems on the agricultural market. Russia is the world's top exporter of wheat, while Ukraine is a significant exporter of both wheat and corn. Investors are assessing the potential for conflict amid concern over Russia's imminent invasion of Ukraine. Some worry interference in shipments of wheat or corn could make food inflation even worse, as global food prices are already close to 10-year highs. The CDC has updated the checklist for developmental milestones for babies and young children for the first time in years. Benchmarks include smiling for the first time and taking a first step. The changes are expected to make it easier to identify delays that could be a sign of autism or developmental disorders that could benefit from early intervention. And a new study suggests older adults have trouble recalling a specific memory because they have difficulty sifting through all the other information stored in their brains. But the researchers say there is an upside. Evidence shows older adults show enhanced creativity at times because of their accumulated knowledge. A little bit later, controversy at the Olympics over the decision to let a Russian athlete compete after a failed drug test.
Plus another fairly strong storm system heading our direction. I'll have those details coming up. Well, definitely turned out to be a nice Monday for us today. Temperatures fantastic as we went into the upper 50s during the afternoon hours, and it looks like we're going to warm up even more as we go through the next couple days. Great shot, Indigo Sky Casino and Resort, of course, Indigo, just outside of Seneca, Missouri. Looks pretty good. We have clear skies for us right now. All right, we've been warming up, lower 40s yesterday, cold start into the upper 20s. But we went into the upper 50s during the afternoon hours for us today. And most of us now, upper 30s to lower 40s. I think we're decently close to our overnight low. We may rise a little bit as we head toward dawn. In Joplin, sitting at 42, easterly winds at about 5. Humidity is at 49%. Clear skies, nothing going on here. We're going to continue with clear skies throughout the overnight hours. Clouds increasing out to the west. Here's our next storm system, pushing into the Pacific Northwest. So this area of low pressure is actually going to be fairly intense. It dives deep into the four corners and then it pulls out right on top of us by the time we head into Wednesday night and Thursday. And of course, that's going to change our weather up. Let's go through the overnight hours for us tonight. Temperatures kind of hang out near 40. We warm up for us tomorrow. Plenty of sunshine in the morning. We're going to get some mid and upper level clouds in here during the afternoon. Temperature is pretty good. 62 by noon, high temp is 66. South winds at about 10 to 20, but gusts 25 to 30. The lower levels of the atmosphere are pretty dry, so you definitely don't want to burn outside tomorrow, even though it's going to be a nice day. Clouds thicken. Tomorrow night will stop. Wednesday morning, a few spotty showers. Hit and miss showers throughout the daytime hours on Wednesday. But with the showers and the clouds, I still think we'll go into the lower 60s. Wednesday evening and Wednesday night, the moisture really increases. Showers, thunderstorms start to develop. Here's our front. So this is 8:30 p.m. From the front south, we're going to get some strong storms. Some of these could even be severe. The greater threat for severe thunderstorms really from Joplin south into Oklahoma and northwestern Arkansas. Heavy amounts of rain. After midnight, our temperatures start to drop. In the pink, this is freezing rain. In the purple, this is sleet. In the blue, this is snow. So once we get on the backside of this system as we go through Thursday morning, we switch over to a little bit of freezing rain, sleet, and snow. Could have some icy spots. Could get half an inch of sleet, and then we could get maybe an inch of snow on top of it. But heavier amounts are going to be in our northern counties by the time we head into Thursday. Here's your timeline. Mainly light rain on Wednesday, moderate rain Wednesday evening, heavy rain as we head into Thursday, a little bit of ice and then over to a little bit of light snow on Thursday. I'm really going to fine tune the mounts for us tomorrow, but I think from Grand Lake, Neosho, Monette points north, we are going to get light sleet and snow accumulations. Farther north you go, the higher the amounts are going to be. When I say light, I'm thinking an inch or less in general, but once we get to Parsons, Pittsburgh, Lamar, those amounts could be a little bit heavier. In the blue, those amounts will be heavier. Our northwestern counties are probably going to get 6 to 12 inches of snow. So that's something we want to watch, yes, over the next couple days. 66 tomorrow, 63 Wednesday, dropping into the 20s on Thursday.
But presumably that snow will not be sticking around long.
No, we warm right back up. Yeah.
Thanks, Doug. All right, now to the controversy at the Olympics and the decision to allow Russia's teen figure skating star to compete despite failing a drug test. Russian athletes are already competing under the shadow of a state-sponsored doping scandal in 2014. Reporter Jamie Yukas has the latest from Beijing.
Reaction to the decision clearing Kamila Valieva to compete in this week's solo event ranged from disappointment to anger, with former Olympian Johnny Weir tweeting she should not be allowed to compete against clean athletes. The IOC ruled that if the Russian star finishes in the top 3, no flower ceremony and no medal ceremony will take place in Beijing. The medal ceremony for last week's team event, in which the Russians finished first ahead of the Americans, is also on hold for now.
You play with fire, you get burned. And here Russia strikes again.
Travis Tygart is CEO of the U.S. Anti-Doping Agency.
She's going to be skating with a dark cloud hanging over her head. But at the end of the day, other athletes are there who want the results to be final at the end of the competition and have their national anthem played.
We spoke with U.S. figure skater Nathan Chen last week about potentially losing out on a ceremony.
Regardless of the color of the medal, I think just knowing, one, that U.S. has a medal, and two, to be able to share that moment and step on the podium and go through the whole ceremony together, it's really special.
Team USA continues to add to its medal count. Speed skater Erin Jackson, whose friend Brittany Bowe gave up her own spot so Jackson could compete, raced to gold in the 500 meters, becoming the first black woman to win a medal in her sport. In another win for Team USA, women's hockey beat Finland to head to the finals. It is the 6th time U.S. and its arch-rival Canada will battle for the gold. Jamie Yukas, CBS News, Beijing.
Still ahead, Webb City travels to Neosho for a conference game this evening, and the honors continue to roll in from Missouri Southern's Lacey Stokes. Danny Terzer has details next.
There's just a few games left of the high school basketball regular season. In the COC tonight, the Webb City Cardinals are on the road against Neosho. Both these teams trying to stop a losing skid. Miaa Robbins at the top hits the three-pointer. She finishes with 9 points. Next possession for Neosho, Emily Phillips, open in the corner, drills the three from deep. Wildcats with a 5-3 lead. In the second, Webb City here. Off the missed shot, Sammy Mancini is there for the rebound and the putback. The freshman leads the Cards with a team-high 15 points and 12 rebounds. To the third now, Carly Ellick, open in the paint. She finishes with a game-high 21 points and 13 rebounds, and Webb City gets the road win over Neosho 48-40. Missouri Southern freshman Lacey Stokes has once again been named the MIAA Player of the Week. It's the 3rd consecutive week she has earned the honor and the 4th time this season. Stokes helped the Lions to 3 more wins last week, pushing the team's win streak to 11 games. She averaged 21.6 points, 6.3 rebounds, 5 assists, and 5.3 steals. In Wednesday's game against Missouri Western, Stokes set the freshman single-season steal record at Southern. She now has 84. Southern and Pitt State meet this week for 2 games. The Gorillas are on the road on Wednesday and at home on Saturday. Pitt State has won their last 3 of 4, including a big win over 21-ranked Missouri Western. They beat the Griffins by 26 points on Saturday.
Our win over Western was really good because we have a big game coming up next against Southern, and they are at the top of the league right now. And I think this if we win the next 2 games, I think it'll be really beneficial for the way we are playing and the way that we can become together as a team.
That rivalry has always made us play a lot harder, so I'm super excited for it.
The Rams were crowned Super Bowl 56 champions on Sunday, beating the Bengals 23-20 in their home stadium in LA. The game was decided in the final few minutes. Matthew Stafford and Cooper Kupp took over on the Rams' final drive. They went 79 yards on 15 plays. Kupp caught a 1-yard pass to put the Rams up 23-20. He was named the MVP. And Aaron Donald took care of the rest on defense. He got pressure on Joe Burrow to make the game-sealing play.
You know, I can't say enough about the resilience of this team. Guys stepping up when they had to. And it's going to sound like a broken record, but that's what makes this team great. That's why they're world champs, is our best players stepped up in the most crucial and critical moments. I love this group so much, love these coaches, and that drives you to try to be your best within the framework of your role. And I think that's what made this team special.
That's a look at sports. We're back with more news after this.
Take time now to honor a local veteran. Ernest Lord served in the U.S. Navy from 1943 to 46. Bronson, Kansas native was stationed in Guam, and we salute Seaman First Class Ernest Lord, a 4-state hero. Hey, if you've ever wanted to smell like French fries, well, this might be the product for you. The Idaho Potato Commission created Frites by Idaho. It's perfume. It's made from distilled Idaho potatoes and essential oils. The 1.7-ounce crystalline bottle sells for $1.89, about the cost of French fries. The limited edition fragrance is only available on the Idaho Potato Commission's website. It might cost a bit more if you want to supersize it, I suppose.
Yeah, shipping's $45, bro.
There you go. People are buying it because they'll buy anything. The weather looking pretty nice for a couple of days.
Yeah, tomorrow looks great. We're going to go into the mid to upper 60s. 60s on Wednesday, showers increase, and then a wintry mix Thursday.
Final sports note.
Big night for the freshman Sammy Mancini in Webb City's win over Neosho today.
Thanks for joining us. The morning show starts at 5 a.m. Let's make it a great tomorrow.